This is Sparta!
Actually, my problem's not medical. It's psychological.
I got the key to Gramercy Park. Deadsy. I know most of you probably won't understand. I got a lot of songs that came from video games too, and I think that was ATV off-road, like the second, third, fourth, I don't know, PS2 days, way back. How do you play a game so much? Like ATV off-road when it came out for PS2 was the shizzle. Because it was like free roam almost. You could have free roam, you can build tracks, and it was good exploring. And for some reason, I just like to get some off-roading and free roam. There was a couple four-wheel drive stuff, and then spin tires came like 10 years later, so completely different. But today is a Saturday. Pouring rain yesterday, most of the day. For us, it wasn't too bad. We went out west and took a couple loads out by Raven, which is east of Caroline, about 10 minutes. And yeah, so I washed the day before on my way back in late. 2 hours washing, $200 bill. Well, it wasn't $200. Sorry, it was like $167. I spent like 2 hours frantically washing, fire hosing the frame rails on my lowboy, all that good stuff. Getting a full detail. The undercarriage of my truck did not get a full detail. And then, so I didn't have any work lined up the following day, so I'm like, oh, I'll go in and polish because now the water's dried up. The truck is warm in the shop. I'll go in because I got salt stains that need my attention. Got in there, polished her all up, and I was about to start working on my lowboy because they brought it in the shop because I'm like, I got some issues with some brakes not some brakes, just one brake on my trailer. Was nothing going on, park brake, and trailer spike application, one axle was just free rolling. I was like, what is going on here? Everything is still all hooked up, so I don't know. That's kind of really weird that would happen, but so I don't know if something broke inside. I couldn't tell you. It's slightly snow raining because it's fucking 1.5 above. And we gotta go grab a coil from here in Red Deer and take it out to Tidewater, which is halfway in between Cynthia and Lodgepole. Not very far down the Tidewater. Not super looking forward to the day because it's miserable. Yesterday morning it rained like a son of a gun while I was polishing, didn't notice, and then he's like, yeah, I need you to go to work. I'm like, completely crushed. I'm like, why can't I have a clean truck for 2 seconds? Hate Alberta for that. It's not really Alberta's fault, it's Mother Nature. I would like to live somewhere where there's no bugs and it's always dry and yeah. Does that exist? But I don't want too hot because I don't like sweating. Not much oil field going on in Arizona parts, is there? Saudi Arabia? Yeah. I don't know about that. That's too hot. And it doesn't really, that kind of stuff, it's cool. Like, I'd like to experience it for a little bit, but it's only cool for a little bit. Like, really, we got the cream of the crop here in Alberta. We get to do a little bit of everything. We get all sorts of terrain. It's rare I have to deal with sand, but it does happen. And we all hate sand, and we're not set up to deal with sand, especially the bed trucks. The floater is definitely going to handle it, but if you're a regular bed truck and you got skinny tires, like the pull truck would always be like struggling to get around because you can't chain up. It doesn't matter. All you have to do is tread lightly and smooth. Once you start to hop, you're done. Well, you're not done, but you're not going to get away from it. So anyways, we got to go over to Tirecraft. Hopefully that thing better be put together because I don't want to get soaked and have to put Jeep and booster and BS. And then I'm sure the yard is probably straight ice. Trison's yard yesterday, get a shack. I couldn't even, you come in off the road and then their yard's kind of open. And then you drive by the Wheelers into their backyard where the shacks are down below, kind of gravel pitish. And I was just skating across the yard by the Wheelers, and I just got into the tree line where it narrows up where you go to the back, and I was making it up the hill. It's barely an incline to like, I guess, yard 2, which is behind the main yard, and then it's kind of like the shacks are kind of like yard 3. Whatever, there's spots all over, but I couldn't make it to yard 2. It's a small incline, and I was like locked up, just trying to, I brought speed with me as much as I could, and then as soon as I got there was just a tiny little knoll, and I just got to the top of that and spun out. So I put on one side, loaded the shack, got out of there no problem, got out to take off the tire chain, almost died and fell on my ass like 5 times. And then once we got out west, it was dryish, because I thought where we were going might be horrible too, but it was good. And then I woke up to this. I was like, God damn it. Can't win. I don't know how to operate this yet. Where's my intermittents? Is that intermittent? Guess I'll find out. No. Is that all I got for intermittent? Jeez Louise. Okay, be back in a bit. It's gonna be probably somewhat adventurous. I hope it's not like this out in Drayton Valley, because when you leave Drayton and you go towards Cynthia, there's a pretty good hill. We'll have lots of weight on our drives, but I'm just like, you never know. It's like, well, chain up. I'm like, there's nowhere to stop to take off the tire chains. I'm like, you might be able to sneak on a set when you get off 22 onto 621, but it's a huge screw around. You don't want to get in somebody's way, and if they're logging today, there'll be lots of traffic. That's fun. It's expected. I should have been way earlier. This fucking tire won't turn straight, so it won't allow for air in the booster. Looks like they did a bunch of replumbing. Should have maybe greased it. Air to it.
Fuck!
Well, that's fucking handy. I just stick that back in and it'll work just fine. Absolutely not. Fuck. Great. Good times. Ha 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 ha. Definitely sucker. Got a headwind straight at us here. Fighting slush. And getting just peppered by gravel. 2 hours behind schedule. The valve to switch in between dump air suspension and the booster regulated common air. I couldn't get the wheels to straighten out so I could actuate the air hydraulic. And And I'm like, oh, I'll just put a little bit of air in it and drive ahead and it'll straighten right out with some weight on them because it was slick. And as soon as I put a little bit of air in it, the little button, the black hand valve just fucking popped right out. I was like, huh. So then I couldn't get any air to the suspension. Like I could have that valve, I could turn it, I could air it up. As soon as I took my hand off it, it just blew out and then it dumped all the air and it was dumping all the air from the whole system. It had a little tiny, I don't know if it's called a wrist pin, roll pin, whatever. Looks like it just kind of wore out and fell off. So we took it over to Trican's shop there, pulled it in the bay, and just made it regulated. So I can still adjust, because I have a hard time with these things on common air. They should be on common air, but there's so much play in the booster, like where it pins. I don't really know what the cause is. I'm just assuming that the pins, where the booster pins on to the actual 24, and then the sliders with shims, like it's right full of shims. You can't get any more shims in it. The only way to run common air successfully is everything needs to be like new, right? So these trailers are a little bit older, a little worn out. They're still in good shape, but booster pinholes, they take a shit kicking, so they're wore out. If we could get more shim in them, then it would be fine, but we can't. So often I'm running regulated air with like 20 pounds, which it's not very often. I get them over the scales if I'm going somewhere that I'm going to go buy the scales to double check and make sure everything's good. But runs like this, you just kind of pin on and go. You never know what's on the coil and what it weighs. Could have been swapped out for the last time you pulled it. I'd take the winter front off because I was just, fan is on non-stop here. It's robbing all my horsepower and fuel. Like we're just, I fueled up before we grabbed the coil, and we're in Rimby, just over a quarter tank. So. To double check before, we should be fine to get out. We're going Tidewater, halfway in between Cynthia and Lodgepole, and it's only 6 kilometers up the tide, and then just off the road, barely 500 meters or something. So we should be good on fuel, but with the headwind, this feels like it's pretty heavy coil. They're all feeling heavy, but weather is definitely not ideal. Hating this. Hopefully it just kind of stays like this. It's 1.5 degrees above zero, so we shouldn't really have any like ice issues. Hopefully they didn't get the rain out there, so the Tidewater is just a slick skating rink. I'll be chaining up anyways. One set to steer at least to get it in. There's no hills to really climb. Mild hills. We should be able to get right in with the Jeep, the whole setup. I'm hoping. Well, that's what I'm doing anyway, so. Bit of a different mound now too. God damn it. I got some stuff that I ordered that's coming today, but in the midst I was can't remember what I was doing. I think it's when I put the RAM air intake on my car, and I noticed this was sitting I had kind of like a clamp that's got, it's quarter turn, which a lot of these threads for cameras and stuff. And I was like, oh, I was looking for that because I knew I had it and I couldn't find it. Now I've ordered more stuff that I didn't need because this seems pretty stiff. Bye.